we left off on a weird spot where we were not getting the values that we were originally getting, and you're probably wondering, like, it wasn't broken, why'd you mess with it, and now we have to fix it. It wouldn't be super important for this app specifically. You could, if you really wanted, you could do every single thing we're going to do for this app in this one little area. But I just kind of want to develop a better habit. It's not how you're gonna do it in general. It's not gonna work well for any real projects that you do, and it's just good practice. Speaking of good practice, I'm actually gonna make a couple of groups here, just other folders. I'm gonna say controllers. I'm gonna put our view controller in here, just like that. I'm gonna make another group, and the next one, this one's gonna be called models. Weather.swift as the first model, it's something that contains data and can do like network requests, but it doesn't actually touch the screen. It doesn't touch anything that's on the screen. That's what controllers are for. And then the last group folder will be views. Currently we have views. I'm not going to currently put anything in there, but that's just for like when we make separate visual things. I don't know if we're going to do in this video, but if we did, we would separate it. If you're unfamiliar, or if this reminds you of anything, it's called the Mvc pattern. So when you go for job interviews or programming in general, there's usually like patterns that a company or a team or whatever, somebody will use, and one of them is called MVC, which stands for model, view, and controller. It's one that I personally use. There's like hundreds of them. I'm not going to get into it in these videos, but the basic gist of it is that we separate the controllers, which handle actually interacting with the screen, from the models, which handle storing data and retrieving data, and then we separate out the view. So it's like the view has everything that the visually is going to be seen by the user. The models have all the information, and the controller connects the information to the view. And so that's the basic philosophy of the MVC pattern. Anyways, back to it. What we need right now is something called a completion. It's a way of saying, make this request, try to get the weather for me, and when you get it back, let me know. I'm going to reference an old app that I've been working on instead, and we're going to go from there. This is part of just being rusty. It's been a while that I haven't worked on iOS stuff, so it makes sense that I would forget how to do this. iOS projects, let's do book swap, and then that's a PHP file. We do not need that. Just go in here. What we need is this right here. Completion at escaping, and then you give it a closure. Sweet. Sorry for the delay. Part of, I guess, the idea of the app. The video series, but so let's do this. Completion escaping. This is where you put in any parameters that are going to be passed in, which we don't need any currently, and then it's going to return void. So we're saying that this is going to get called. We expect that this is not gonna happen right away, but when it does, we're gonna do completion. So what that's going to do is now in the view controller, when I say weather dot get current weather, it's waiting for a code block. So we basically say we're waiting. We know it's going to come back eventually. When it comes back, this completion gets called, and so we know these values are updated. And then instead of just arbitrarily saying update UI, right after we say get current weather, we're going to say once we have the current weather, then update the UI. What was happening before is that like regular programming, it goes like line by line by line. It does go sequentially, but anytime you make a network request, you can't assume that it's going to go in order. You really shouldn't assume that it goes in order in general, but that's just a general assumption. Let's run it. Everything went well. We should be back to where we originally had. Call the method update UI, and closure requires explicit self. This is the same kind of thing that we were dealing with the actual call. So this makes a little bit more sense of why we were being required to put self in all of these. This time might change from when we made this call to when it returns, and so it wants an explicit reference to what you're talking about. What time are you talking about? So anytime you're inside of a closure, that's what this is. The hint is whatever this variable is, usually a parameter, followed by in. Gives you a hint that you're in a closure. So this is a closure. This is also a closure. So now when we add self to it, there should have went away, but hopefully it will right now when we compile. Build succeeded. Let's see if we have our weather information back. Well, bam. As you saw there, it updated, and that's not something that we want. But for the current time being, this should be all right. We'll clean that up once we actually start, making the UI look nice. Something else that we can look at while we're here is the weather icon thing is bugging me. I'd like to have like a sun here or a cloudy day or whatever it is. So what I'm going to do right now, wish there was a faster way to do this split screen stuff. And I wish I didn't have a MacBook Air so I could have a little bit of space. Okay, so it looks like Xcode needs a minimum amount of space. What I want to do is actually pull this up. This is what we were looking at before. Okay guys, that's not working at all. Wow. Let's get back into the docs. What I want to also add to this weather.swift, I want to make our first enumeration. Enumeration is exactly what I would use for something like icons, because it's a set of values that we know in advance that we want to account for. And I'll show you why we are going to use it in a second when I find it. Okay, so these are the values. If defined, it's probably will have one of the following values. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 possible values. Developers should ensure that a sensible default is defined as additional values such as hail, thunderstorm, or tornado may be defined in the future. This is important. It's something I was going to do anyways, but so we're going to make an assumption about the API. The API can change. It's written by other developers. They generally don't try to change it, but what we're going to basically do when we get the weather back is we're going to say if the icon value that we returned is clear day, then we'll display a clear day icon. But there might be a time where they add hail and we don't have anything accounting for hail, then we might have an error or a crash or whatever. So we need all these values. that are currently existing, and then like a default value that shows if nothing else is true. So let's actually just look at, wow, this is very annoying. I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna go enum swift 4. Let's refresh my mind on what it is. I sometimes use the developer website. I usually use something more like Tutorial Point or something. It's usually a little clearer. So this is how you define an enum. So let's do it. Enum weather icons, and then I'm gonna say case. Damn, this is the actual case where I need these. I need these, man. Okay. What happened to our icons? There it is. Okay, sorry, make some space. So basically what I'm just doing is creating a case for each one of these. And then we're gonna have all the values that we need. And then we can go find some icons for each one. And then when we get an icon value back, we'll have a suitable icon for each one. Clear day, clear night, rain, snow, sleet, wind, case fog, case cloudy, partly day, case partly cloudy, night. Weather, and then what we're gonna have is a UI image. To get UI image, we're gonna need the UI kit, I believe. So the icons are gonna be UI images. They're gonna have a value of a UI image. And then we're gonna actually have to go get these icons. Let's try weather icons, iOS. That kind of looks like exactly what we need. Dribble.com. Let's see if they have it for free. Okay, looks like a dead end. Let's get out of images. Let's do a weather icon pack. Looks like what we need. How do we get it? One by one, looks like. Okay, so what do we need? Let's do partly cloudy. Download that. Okay, we got partly cloudy. We gotta open this back up, unfortunately. Partly cloudy day. We need a hail one. Let's do this for rain. We need one for snow. This is actually a website that I recommend. All their stuff is free. I haven't made an account with them, but they generally just want you to put recognition of where you got the stuff. That's all you have to do. Summer I'm just gonna use for like a clear day. This is fog. Kind of a weird fog. I think this makes more sense as like a fog. That just looks like nighttime. I'm just gonna use this. Hazy, foggy. I'm okay with that. What else do we have? Partly cloudy. We don't have partly cloudy night. Clear day, clear night. We need a clear night, which we can use as I'm going to use this as partly cloudy night, and this I will use as just clear night. And should have 4, 8, 10. Normally I have multiple screens, so I'd be putting stuff up on that, but I want you to be able to see everything I'm doing. So we have 8 values. Which one are we missing? Let's see. Oh, we have one for hail, but it's not even there yet. So clear day, clear night, rain, snow, sleet. We'll use the ice one, I guess, the hail one. Gotta get one for windy. We have fog. We need cloudy. We have partly cloudy day, partly cloudy night. Okay, so we need cloudy and we need windy. Cool. Cloudy. I like this one better. Cloudy. And what was the last one? Cloudy and windy. Let's see. This is literally wind speed, but like not very obvious. It'd be fun if we just use this tornado. How about no? I don't want to actually use it. I was gonna say, here we go, windy weather. I was gonna say let's just use a tornado, but that'd be like very misleading if you use this in an app to see tornado on a windy day. Okay, now that we got the icons in here, we gotta put it into the app itself. It's actually really easy to do so. Sorry for all the craziness. I have a bunch of errors. And what are they for? Expected declaration has to do with this. Let's just remove that for now. Where you add images is actually right here in the assets folder. You can actually just select all of them, drag and drop. Bam. You got them in there now. In the next video, we're going to throw these in here. I think we should just clean up the UI a little bit, add an icon to our screen, and then just keep going from there. We're going to clean it up. And then location is really important. It's something you're going to use in a lot of apps. How to find the user's location, how to ask for permission because you need to do that, and things like that. So I'll see you in the next one. We're going to keep going.